So a lot of people have been talking about moving out of the country because Donald Trump won re-election of the U.S. presidency, and I call cap because let's just be honest, not a lot of people got the money to move, let alone a visa or a passport. You don't have the resources and you don't have the connections, and probably haven't even traveled outside of your own city or own town in your whole life. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? But we have a young lady here. Well, not a young lady, but we have a lady here who's actually doing the process of actually moving to another country. And she's going to kind of break down exactly what it takes, what you need, and all that. Oh, now this is actually a summary of a full length podcast that the channel has done. You can put the link in the description box so you can check it out. But let's get into it.
This week's episode of Y'all-Ticks takes us to Fort Worth for a story that sounds too incredible to be true.
We've all heard of people who threaten to leave the country if someone gets elected. Well, for the first time, I'm going to meet somebody who is actually leaving the country, and she says she's doing it because Donald Trump got elected.
Janelyn Sanchez first broke the news to her friends on Facebook.
Wow, you're really going to do this?
I'm really going to
because
do it.
of Trump's election?
Yes. And I've been telling people for the last
Hold on, let me read this. It's been an honor to fight alongside with many patriots for 8 years. We fought hard, but we lost. America has chosen a very dark future, devoid of personal freedoms and anchored in white supremacy and misogyny. I'm sorry, but I have no more fight left. So she seems like a very liberal in the state of Texas.
Wow, you're really going to do this?
I'm really going to
because
do
of Trump's election?
I missed something else. I'm sorry, guys. Dang. I will be moving back to Holland by early next year. So this shows you right here that she has lived abroad before. Have you done the same thing? Have you lived outside of your city or your town before and came back, and now you're finna just go back to where you were before?
On Facebook.
Wow, you're really going to do this?
I'm really going to
because
do it.
of Trump's election?
Yes. And I've been telling people for the last year, you should have an exit strategy. And we can go into why I think you need an exit strategy now if you're a liberal, and especially a mouthy one like me.
Kamala Harris lost the election. So Sanchez is packing up. She already put her house on the market, and she is moving to Holland.
And what else have you already done to get ready for that? You've had the realtor come by. You're doing repairs at the house.
Yeah.
The realtor's photographers come by. What other concrete steps have you done?
So I'm selling my gun. I put that on the market and I have found a buyer.
She also had to buy
She said that because where she's moving to Holland, you can't have guns. So, all right, less crime, huh?
For her 2 dogs. You know, this drastic move is likely easier for Jana than many others because she lived in Europe for 18 years and her husband is Dutch.
What would you say to?
So see, she's already been out of the country for a nice portion of her life. And her husband, now when you go to the podcast, and like I said, the reason why I didn't record from the podcast is because it's like 38 minutes by itself. So that would like be an hour or so long video. And I could do that some other time. She says that her husband, they were married. They were married for some years, were divorced for a while, and then got remarried. So now he's already living out there. She is moving there into his house. All she's doing now is just waiting on her house to sell. So her foundation is already established in this other country, which makes the move for her easier, which is what she explains, like I say, in the podcast.
To Trump supporters here who would cheer this move and say, don't let the door hit you on the way out. We're glad to see you go, and we wish you'd take everybody who's like-minded with you.
I mean, they're entitled to their point of view. They're clearly in charge now, and it's their country.
But it turns out her own family supports Trump. Sanchez's story is the latest chapter in an already
Sanchez. You ever notice that there's a lot of white people with Hispanic names, last names?
Ordinary election, and it is on Y'all-Ticks this week. You can look for it wherever you get your podcasts.
So, like I said, that's a little summary of what she was of the lady. Like I said, check out the podcast. But one thing, like the podcast said, a few things. Like I say, she says the Joe Biden debate. Well, first of all, again, like I said, she remarried her husband, so he's already over there. So it's not like that Donald Trump winning the election was the end all to be all. That was probably the straw that broke the camel's back for her to go ahead and do the process. But it wasn't like the only reason why. She says that the Joe Biden debate is what kind of scurried it along because she's like, oh man, he's looking terrible. It's time for me to go because Donald Trump is going to win this election. She also says that some years back she ran for office, some kind of political office in the city she's in. I guess I don't know if it's out there in Fort Worth, I guess, and she lost. So she probably bitter about that. But one thing she does, the things that she does say you need to be able to do, you need to be able to work abroad. Say she can work abroad because she works in communications and she can do everything like online or what have you. You need to be so you got to be able to make money. So you just see the United States has kind of made y'all see the world differently from what it really is. And this has been forever. Remember, they always say the United States is the greatest country in the world. We don't know that because we haven't been outside the country like that. Then everybody using the US dollar, everybody speaking English, but then when you start to watch newscasts abroad, you see that people are going away from English being like a main language, and people in other countries are starting to go away from the dollar and creating their own currency backed by gold or some kind of precious mineral. Whereas the US does not do that. It's a fiat system. And as we know, in all fiat systems in the past, it's bound to crumble. The government, this economy is going to crumble unless they change that, which is probably why you got a cryptocurrency kind of being accepted by the government and by banks right now. Look into that. Uh, but yeah, like I said, the US has fooled us for a long time. Well, and they make you think that like these illegal migrants coming over here, they just come across the border and they get housing, room and board and housing and jobs and stuff like that and money. And so we're led to believe like, oh, well, if the US does it, then everybody does. I can just go to any country and just say, I want to move here. And they say, oh, well, they'll welcome you there. And they just give you a bunch of free stuff. And that's far from the truth. You have to benefit the country that you're going to some way, shape, or form. You just can't go there and do nothing, which is why she also says you have to have the right to move to a country. So you can have a passport, but you also need a visa. Because with a visa, because when you're there, you're going to need to work. And so you're going to need a work visa. And she was saying how I think she said Portugal is real easy to move to. It's the easiest place to get a visa in. So that's probably why a lot of US citizens go to that country. But yeah, you got to be able to work to help the economy. You know what I'm saying? But she says that's one like reason why people can't move. And then also people got families out here. Like, they might got small kids or got elderly that they're taking care of. So they just can't up and move. So it's not as easy as these people on TikTok and Twitter or X try to make it seem to be. There is a process and it takes time, it takes money, and it takes resources. And if you ain't got all of those, you ain't going nowhere. You're just talking to hear yourself talk. But like I say, she said that also that she has lived abroad like for 15 years of her life. And she said she's been back and forth in and out of the country, for a long time. So it's nothing new to her. It's nothing new to her to do it. And although she's leaving family and friends, she's done it before. So this is nothing different. So it's all good to her. So the question is, would it be all good for you? Because it's not as easy. And I mean, I've said, but this was like years ago. I say with my youngest daughter, was growing up. I said when she graduated high school, I said I was going to either move to the country or out of the country. Well, I haven't been out of the country, but I did technically move to the country. But hell, the city is growing so fast, it's almost like not country anymore. Almost. So I probably have to end up moving just a little bit further out from where I'm at now. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, like I said, I have, so I want to travel and plan on traveling to, another country, a couple of countries this year coming up. Because I just want to get outside America. They say, man, it's beautiful out there. Outside the United States is real beautiful. So that's the goal or what have you. But like I said, it's not easy. It's not simple, but hey, if you can do it, shoot, by all means do it and then show us how to do it. I've seen a video. I think I did a video today about this lady who has like dual citizenships in Ghana, I believe. But she said she's not leaving the United States. She's got dual citizenship. So just start with that. But again, you have to be able to offer the country that you're going to some kind of financial stability. If not, if you can't do it, you're not going to work. So if you're sitting in your bed with a bonnet on and 4-inch lashes talking about you're moving out of the country because of the election, man, you lying to yourself and everybody else. Anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below, share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Hey, we appreciate you watching, but don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. Also, hey, if you'd like to support us financially, you can get super thanks, super chats, super stickers, or you can go to the description box with the links there that you can click and help support us there. Don't forget to go to marlonmorale.com. It's marlonmorale.com, where you get 10% off your first purchase of all our luxury items. You will not be disappointed. And if you want to take advantage of a beard kit sale we're having, hit the shop button below. Our miniature beard kit, which has sandalwood, scented beard oil, balm, and wash. Sandalwood is clinically proven to stimulate hair follicle growth. So if you're trying to grow that beard to be its full capabilities, why not use the best product on the market? And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.